Okay, you win. Let's talk about Rachel Summers. So guys, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I'm the Monio, the Omega level interdimensional demon who talks the most about X-Men on YouTube, and you're on my channel. Guys, first I would like to quickly clarify some controversies about my video in which I talk about Omega level mutants. Some people in the comments said that my video is outdated, that there are actually more Omega mutants. Some accused me of not knowing what I was talking about, copying wiki content, and they wanted to have their opinions validated at all costs. And there's nothing wrong with having an opinion, with thinking that there are other characters that should be on the list, but understand that this is a personal opinion, is different from information released by Marvel itself. The list that appears in my video is the official list released by Marvel and House of X, published in 2019, and written by Jonathan Hickman. In the first edition, you will find on page 39 an editorial with the official definition of Omega mutants, and also the official list of all known Omega levels. So no, it's not a list that I just pulled out of my head. The power ranking is my opinion, and I say that in the video, but the list itself is an official list. But the Monio, that list you mentioned is from 2019, and I read a recent X-Men comic, and there is a character who is mentioned as Omega, and who is not on the list. Guys, character quotes cannot be taken into account, and we cannot assume this is official, because it is the opinion of that character in the context of that story, and it does not necessarily represent official Marvel information. For example, if you read X-Men comics since the 90s, you will find quotes that Apocalypse is an Omega-level mutant, but he does not appear on the list that Marvel released. If you go to the character's profile on the official website from Marvel, you can look at all the information and read his entire bio, but you won't find any mention of him being an Omega. Now let's take a look at what appears on Legion's profile. This is why we must always consider official information. The list that appears in House of X is not the opinion of characters in the context of the story. It is information from an official Marvel editorial. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that these characters will be forever, and that Marvel cannot add more characters. What I'm saying is that this is the most up-to-date official information we have as of the date this video was made. Okay? Now let's make a top 5 of the most powerful mutants, but who were wronged and didn't make the list, remembering that there are many characters in this category, and these are just the ones that are generally most remembered by fans. In 5th place we have Nathan Summers, also known as Cable, a character that everyone thought would be on the list, but was not included. But the Monio, why would Cable be Omega exactly? All I see him do is shoot those weapons of his. Even I can do that. Cable has gigantic potential, just like other members of the Summers family that will be on this list. The problem is that he is always using almost all of his power to contain the advance of the organic technovirus. But genetically speaking, he has powers similar to Nate Gray and Rachel Summers, very powerful characters that we will talk about later. But if Cable used his mutant powers in a massive way as his genetics allow him, he would be able to achieve great things. But unfortunately at the same time the virus would start to take over control over your body. And for those who don't know the character, I recommend watching the excellent animation X-Men 97 on Disney+, which is showing the origin of the character, and he will probably be very important in the plot. Seriously, watch it, it's very good. In 4th place we have Illyana Rasputin, also known as Magic, being one of the favorites to become the future Supreme Sorceress. Magic, for some editions, was referenced as a possible mutant with Omega power due to her large scale of space-time power studied by Dr. Rao during the Inferno Saga. Her mutant abilities involve the ability to tear the space-time fabric in the form of teleportation discs capable of going anywhere, be that place in another reality, another world, in the past, in the future, or even in another universe. Magic thus far has not been shown to have any weaknesses as to how far it can go. Furthermore, Illyana is a skilled magic user, having such intense and vast powers capable of opposing Doctor Strange. And she's also in that boring Fox movie. In 3rd place, we have the best boss from Marvel vs. Capcom, Ensa Bonner, also known as Apocalypse. Being one of the oldest mutants ever cataloged by Marvel Comics, he had always been treated as an Omega-class mutant, not only because of his enormous range of abilities, but also because he was one of the homos capable of being able to take advantage of the technology of the Celestials, beings cosmic artists and architects of the Marvel Universe. His mutant power is that of the manifestation of power through metamorphic cells, which means that he in practice has self-molecular control, matter manipulation, flight, apparent immortality, shape change, telekinesis, and telepathy. All of this combined with celestial technology makes him an extremely difficult enemy to face. If you want to get to know the character, I recommend watching his saga adaptation in the animation X-Men Evolution. In second place we have Rachel Summers, also known as Prestige. Rachel comes from another reality, but was also left off the list, despite some considering that the Omega classification was created especially for her. Rachel is an extremely powerful mutant endowed with massive psionic power, extremely rare telepathy and raw telekinesis. She was also a successor avatar of the Phoenix after her mother. Her mutant powers include telepathy, telekinesis, and energy manipulation. In first place we have Nate Gray, also known as X-Man. Despite having been treated as an Omega-class mutant since the term existed, this time X-Man was left out of the official classification. He who shares the same genetic history as Cable and Rachel's narrative history, I believe he was not included on the list, as he is not an original mutant from our reality. Just like Rachel Summers, Nate came from another reality to ours. In fact, he currently lives in the reality he created. Nate is extremely powerful, easily rivaling other reality manipulators, such as Legion and Franken Richards. His mutant powers involve the ability to manipulate reality to absurd levels, in addition to telekinesis and telepathy, which are powers of his mother, Jean Grey, and also capable of firing blasts of psionic energy from his right eye, similar to his father, Cyclops. Before closing, I would like to thank everyone who commented on my X-Men videos, giving their opinion on the list, and a special thanks to Afro Princess for his excellent comments, and also to Nikolai for praising the name of the channel. Thank you very much. But do you agree with this list? Which other characters do you think were wronged? Leave it in the comments, and if you liked the video, subscribe to follow the next content. Until next time my people, demonic hugs.